Right, that should be okay now.
As long as it picks up the sound.
Yeah.
Is it live?
Let's have a look.
No.
There we go. That's it.
That one?
Yeah. And you'll get.
Yeah, that's Rudy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, Neil?
He's not on it. Well, he hasn't commented yet.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Because no one's on yet, so. Oh, one watching. Oh, it's me, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
Can you turn the volume up
Oh,
on
that's
that?
classic.
Is it?
That's too many.
Oh, it's a plasma state.
Yeah.
Can you hear us, Plasma?
Plasma, can you hear us? Hang on, I'll log in. I'll see if I can hear us.
Loads better.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah. Right. I'm just going to explain before we go into get going into stuff. So, you may have seen one of my earlier videos where I've discussed my
Disgusting.
discussed my frustrations at my new phone, which is the Sony Xperia, and how the camera's decided it's going to go on the fritz. So what I did was reset my Nokia XR20, which appeared to have cured all the other problems I had, but unfortunately there still appears to be an audio issue.
Yeah.
Although that's the audio issue with doing the lives, because all the other I've recorded videos on this and it's been fine. So
I
Well,
think
you
you've
know.
got to invest in a good phone.
I
with,
did. Sony Xperia one's
No.
a premium.
Anyway. Yeah, but it's a premium not working.
I know, but the premium brand new Sony Xperia 6 is £1,300. That was
Whip
free.
round?
Anyway,
Yeah.
Sponsorship, Sony, are you listening?
Yeah.
we've got a new secretary.
Yes. We've got a very own Oracle tonight, which is
Very-
which is Heather.
A very lovely secretary called
I should
Heather.
show my face.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, we want viewers.
Oh, really?
Come on, Heather. Now,
It's scary if you want off.
Heather's actually been part of the group for quite a while. She's just
Lovely lady.
Chatting in the background.
yes, yeah, been sitting in the background, providing information and generally being a good egg.
Scary person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. Yeah. So that's the phone issues out of the way. I'm going to get the Sony repaired.
If it's not your bloody motor, it's your phone. If it's not your phone, it's your motor pack. If it's not your bloody motor pack, it's your pissing car.
I motorbike works.
You have shit look, don't you, really?
It's not the car.
But in fairness, the motorbike, my Honda's fine. It's just people try to nick it.
What about your boat?
The boat is 46 years old, and you could expect problems with it.
Right.
They build them like they used to.
No, especially not the price I paid for it. The tender is fine. The 30-footer is fine. The 8-footer, the outboard I started up the other day, that was fine. Just got to get the two together and go out on the river with it. But yeah, no, and the other two bikes, the Triumph has had ongoing issues regarding a accident it had last year. That has finally come to a conclusion this week.
I'm sure they really want to
This
know
is
that.
for the other channel, though, isn't it?
It is for the
It's
other
for the other
channel.
channel.
You always try and infiltrate this channel with your
Yeah.
other channel.
Yeah.
Hi, Karen.
Hello, Karen. And
Sarah.
regarding the
Hello,
project,
stranger.
if you want updates on what's going on with the motor vehicles, not the motor boats, go to Adams Autos. The content is now going up on there, so you can follow my exploits with my new project, which is kind of going to plan at the moment. Anyway, yeah, welcome. This is ParaQuest UK. Yeah, it's just the lads again and Heather.
Yeah, I'm the extra.
Yeah, we've got a female influence, so that's brilliant. But yeah, we're sort of yeah, we're just a trio at the moment, the Three Musketeers. Thank you very much.
You've got some
Sam's approval.
Spirit says yes.
Three musketeers.
Oh dear,
Fucking three wise monkeys.
wonderful. Yeah, that's probably more like it.
Plasma has just said my last bike was a DT 125 back in the old days.
Oh,
Yeah, what a
Trolls.
great bike.
Yamaha Trolls bike.
Yeah, all those old two strokes
Oh,
now.
yeah. I used to have
They're like that.
I miss my bikes.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah, I've had a few two strokes. I've had a TS25X, similar to the DT. how I wish I still had that. That was a
This is
smashing bike.
Southend Para motorbike.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and I had a TZR 250.
Back on track.
But anyway, so yeah, now obviously as you said in the channel, there's been regular content going up again. We've got to start record. Me and Rudy did a little bit the other day in Thorpe Bay.
Yes,
Yeah.
we've done.
Yeah.
It's
That's,
almost like you weren't aware of that then, Rudy.
No, it was like-
It
it was like, Rudy, what you doing?
We're in Showbury, love.
It's like,
Took your tablets.
I was like, Rudy, what you doing? I just want to pop down here for an hour
I'll just
and
take your medicine, excuse me.
draw a line under
I was
something.
drinking that no-alcoholic wine.
Yeah,
Non-alcoholic, 5%.
that's it, 0%. There was a 0 in it. Yeah, so we got that done. Unfortunately, as you said, Gloria's not with us tonight. Unfortunately, she's had a bereavement, so yeah, she sort of come back for holiday to deal with that. So obviously where we are. Hopefully, with around when we do the next Ask a Medium, Gloria will be back with us, and we'll introduce, we'll be back to our machinations with that. Yeah, so content is there. We've still got another few weeks of pre-recorded stuff, and hopefully once Gloria's back, we can try and sort some dates out when we're going to visit some new and previous sites. So that being that, now I'm going to make the announcement now, and I will do it at the end of the video as well for anyone that joins us later on. There is some exciting news regarding live streaming. Now, those of you who remember a few weeks ago, Adam from Paranormal Essex was here. And those who've been with the channel for quite a while know I've done quite a bit of collaboration with Paranormal Essex, and it's been we've had some good nights. So what's happening is that we will be doing a live stream on the 12th of July. There's a couple of things to work out, but if you go to our Facebook page, which is ParaQuest UK, the link to the live stream details will be on there. It's currently up on there, and it will give you the info about about the date and the rough time and who's involved. So it's basically Adam and Ryan from Paranormal Essex, Paige, who's been on this channel a couple of times a few years ago, and myself. There's going to be some stuff coming away from that, but I can't talk about that at the moment. We're just going to have to wait and see. So yeah, that's what's going on. There's stuff going on, and it's all good, and hopefully you'll all enjoy it. So yeah, that's regarding the content. Now, tonight is our round table. It's the first Wednesday of the month, and as we mentioned, we're going to be talking about. It was something that came to me a few weeks ago when I was watching Superman 4 of all films. That something just jumped out at me on that film, and even Superman 3. But I'll get to that and others. So that's what it's going to be about, the messages that pop up within films, TV, and music videos as well, and what you to look out for and what they're trying to tell us. So yeah, I don't know where we want to start. I suppose the Matrix. Go on.
No, I've got a theory.
Yes, yeah.
I think Star Wars was about Vietnam War.
Okay.
Explain.
Yeah.
Ewoks.
Ewoks.
The Ewoks were the Vietnamese people,
Viet Cong.
Viet Cong, fighting the American might, and Nixon was that Darth Vader because he was going for his next term.
Oh, that's a good.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
Bosh.
That yeah. Okay.
That's a good one.
That
I came
one-
up with that theory after 4 cans the other night.
Really does that.
Jeff, you said to me you've never watched a Star Wars film.
I know,
Yeah.
but this is
Yeah.
I haven't.
Ooh.
But I know about Star Wars, and since I know we were coming into this, I've started thinking up theories, and I thought to myself, hang on a minute, Star Wars, because everyone's raving about Star Wars and how big it was, and I was thinking, right, it was in the era, but not just long after.
Yeah, it was, because Vietnam
And
was
if you think-
75.
And if you
And-
think the Ewoks are like the little Viet Cong fighting the American might, which is
the Stormtroopers, the Empire.
Stormtroopers and the Empire.
Yeah.
When Richard Nixon was going for his next term during Vietnam, I think he was portrayed as Darth Vader.
Actually, really good analogies.
Bosh!
Well,
Well, you could put that as an analogy, really, couldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Just would
that's-
think about it.
Yeah.
And anybody who knows more about Star Wars than me, because I've only just looked, I'm like doing a little bit of research coming into this. I just thought, and I think if anybody who knows a lot more about Star Wars, they could like piece that with the Vietnam War. I reckon, yeah. I reckon if you think of, because you guys are all Star Wars buffs, aren't you?
yeah.
So if you look at some of the characters in Star Wars or how it portrayed, and try and like parallel that with Vietnam and how that went,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be far off the mark with that one.
Well, the overall thing is light against dark, isn't it? Again,
Yeah.
it's a spiritual kind of thing, isn't it? Light against dark, the everlasting battle, you know, eternal battle.
And you look at the Vietnamese War, it was like the might versus the
The
and
yeah,
look
the
how
jungle,
look how
jungle dwellers.
Look at
who overcome. Look at what
Yeah. Look who prevailed.
Exactly.
It wasn't the might of the Empire. It was
exactly.
Yeah, because
Some
the Americans
plucky
withdrew,
rebels.
didn't they?
yeah. It was the plucky rebels overcame, which is a really good.
The Ewoks.
But it's well, the Ewoks, and they were helped by plucky little. You could almost say like because it's the Viet Cong and the North Vietnamese Army,
Yeah.
which were what the South Vietnamese Army and the Americans were going against.
And by no way am I being racist if I calling Vietnamese people Ewoks. This is
It's an analogy.
an analogy of my people thinking for film, so I'm not being racist at all.
Plucky, but plucky.
Because Ewoks are a race, yes.
Plucky natives
Ewoks are their own race.
plucky native to the moon of Endor, which the Vietnamese were the natives to Vietnam, who had little in the way of technology.
But they knew their own land.
Yes.
And they worked
Yeah.
to their advantage to beat
Yeah.
the might. And that's definitely what the Vietnamese
and when
did
you-
in the Vietnamese War.
And when you think about it, I mean that is a very good analogy because the Ewoks had nothing in terms of technology to fight a massive
As
oppressor.
Jeremy Clarkson would say, I've done a thing! I've actually brought some good stuff to the channel.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with
Although,
that.
in fairness, have you
Yeah.
ever seen a stormtrooper actually kill someone?
They are actually very
Yeah, miss.
accurate. They're
No,
actually,
it is.
they're actually very
You haven't seen
accurate.
any?
No,
I've seen little bits of it.
One of them went Princess Leia.
you want to watch it.
I'm not.
Oh yeah, you kill her though.
Yeah, no, got on it. Yeah, she wasn't allowed to be killed, was she? But yeah, there was an intention about that. They were allowed to escape. That's why the stormtroopers were purveyed to be
Yeah.
bad shots.
Darth Vader
Um,
was Bricktop.
Snatch Wars.
Yeah.
If anyone, I'll tell you what, if you're one of the two people in the whole wide world who's not watched Snatch Wars on YouTube, please go and watch it. It's one of the funniest things.
Oh, dear.
Basically, some genius has taken Star Wars and they've replaced Darth Vader's voice with Bricktop.
From Snatch.
Yeah, it's freaking hilarious.
There's some heavy. Let's put it this way. There's some
I can't quote it. 'cause
foul
I
language.
think-
Foul language
And
in
we'll
it, so be
obviously-
ready for that.
Do you know
Yeah.
what nemesis means?
Feed into the
Put the
pigs.
kettle on
Errol.
Errol.
At the end of it.
Anyway, getting back to it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
So I'm a far off the mark.
really. I think that's a really good analogy. Even because yeah, as I was saying, the
I'm
Ewoks
proud.
were a very low tech society, being helped by the plucky rebels who although had stuff, were again
They were basically
insig-
spears and
yeah. And even being helped by rebels, we still have
Low tech
technology,
against high tech, wasn't it?
but it was insignificant next to the power of the empire.
but used their terrain
It-
to their
it was,
advantage, which is
yeah.
definitely
That
what
reminds
the
me of,
Vietnamese.
is it Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone, when you had the underground movement that
Yeah.
moved, that were living underground. And
Same
they,
as Mad Max.
yes, yeah, it's always the
The
rebels, the rednecks, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
that
The Mad Max
overcome.
one's always kind of inspired me, because, to give a kind of dystopian view of,
Well, it
Exactly.
like if to be honest, if we lost all our technology through a solar flare or
whatever.
a Carrington event or whatever you want to call it, within 2 weeks, That's 2 to 3 weeks. That's what we're going to end up
Well,
with.
survivors of a nuclear war, that's what it'll happen.
Because everything is so reliant on technology now.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to go to the supermarket and give them cash because they'd have been raided like within 3 or 4 days. No.
Hence why I've got a month's worth of supply of food in my lockup. And I'm not telling anyone where that is.
So it's all around your house then, mate? Or
Technically.
Yeah, we're all around yours.
And my boat is so low tech, there's
Hang
no
on a minute. Is
electronics
that
on
the
it.
lock-up I know about? You got loads of food.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, I'll see you later, boys.
I'm going around Mum's. She's got a well. So.
Yeah.
Neil's just put Water World.
That's a good one.
Another
Neil.
great
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Yes.
another good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, about the land masses, yeah, and the ocean, yeah.
If you think about it, most films, going on the analogy of what I come up with about the might being defeated by the the weaker, using their own terrain or using this, that, and the other. There's quite, like I said, there's quite a lot of films like that.
Yeah.
It's the underdog.
Like
the
say- like say
everyone
Mad Max.
roots for the underdog in a film,
Yeah.
don't they?
Mad Max, that was one. Everyone went underground and they beat. And
Well,
even
that was-
even something stupid as RoboCop. Remember that?
yeah. Do you know what? That was when you
If
think
you
back.
read the message in RoboCop,
Yeah. When you think back to RoboCop, what was 89?
something like that.
And you
Yeah,
remember.
I think.
I mean, the first it was ahead of its time. The way it portrayed stuff, especially RoboCop 2, which everyone says isn't as good as 1, which isn't in a way because 1 was a classic, but 2 I thought was really interesting
Never saw it.
because 2. Do you remember they filled RoboCop's head full of PC stuff? You know, you got to take time out to be nice,
Yeah.
be kind, and all that, and it just fried him.
Yeah.
And in the end, he fried himself to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And then he went back to being this kick-ass robo.
And that could be a message to what the certain powers that be are trying to do to us now.
I'll never forget.
I'm not going to say too much.
I'll never forget the
Yeah.
film called
This is
the.
for entertainment
Same
purposes
purposes
only.
only,
Yeah.
yes.
I'll never forget the thriller called The Parallax View.
I haven't seen that.
Parallax.
Warren Beatty in a high-tech thriller about some organisation.
There always is, though. There's
Yeah.
always
Mm.
something hidden behind. Neil's
Yeah.
also mentioned the first Terminator movie.
Mm.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Hang on, Terminator.
Terminator.
yeah, well,
Arnold
that's
Schwarzenegger.
another one. But the Parallax View, yeah.
Yeah.
If I was you guys, I'd watch it and see what you think
Mm.
about the brainwashing in this film. Very good.
I heard a good theory a little while ago that the Terminator movies were the prequel to The Matrix. The Matrix was the world after,
After, yeah,
the
Machine.
the
destruct-
machines
after the
found a more
machines,
efficient way of dealing with humanity.
Yeah.
Well, how about this one then? This is the ultimate one, I think personally, after my research, the ultimate one for all the messages for everyone. Clockwork Orange. Prove me wrong.
You are, yeah, you are,
There
It's
were
all about
so many
the
messages in Clockwork
psychological-
Orange.
yeah. How you can make someone go,
Well, Stanley Kubrick, wasn't it?
Yes,
Clockwork Orange.
yeah.
That was. And you look at the films that Kubrick's brought out since then.
No, you got like even like
How many
Space
films
Odyssey.
that Kubrick brought out with different messages in it?
Do you know what the funny thing was? You talking about Clockwork Orange. Orange.
Oh, hello!
Oh,
You're talking about Vietnam too much.
Yeah.
We represent the Northern Army.
You rich.
I've been binging Top Gear, right? You know, from series. I know, but I'm on
See, he's trying to
season
sneak
5.
cars are getting into this channel.
No, hear me out. Right,
Very
season 5 is actually quite interesting because all the stuff that they're talking about, which is all the rubbish about Paper Mile and all things, that was 20 years ago. And they were talking about all the rubbish things they were trying to do
Yeah.
to us then, and 20 years later, it's like they're still trying to do it. So maybe.
Well, normally it's about 6 months between conspiracy and fact
Yeah.
nowadays, isn't it? But then,
For
back then it was about
entertainment
20 years.
purposes.
That was on Top Gear.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that can't be conspiracy because it's on that.
Oh,
They
it's on,
only,
yeah, it's on the TV.
they only
it can't be
report what's
conspiracy.
been coming out of the political
Anyone
establishment.
on BBC, so it can't be wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
But
French David Peterson.
on a slight tangent, if you'd appreciate the link back there, tangerine, orange.
Yes.
Right, Clockwork Orange. There's a car in
Anyway,
it. There's a
Oh,
car
we're
in
talking about cars
Clockwork. Yeah, there's a car in Clockwork Orange.
Yep.
Pulse or something it's
yeah,
called.
Pulse, yeah.
And at the moment, season 5, they're picking a car to restore
Yep.
these old barn finds that they found, and one of them is the Carbon Clock Orange.
Really?
Ooh.
I had to watch them to find out because it's 20 odd years ago, I can't remember.
Yeah.
That's why I'm watching them again. But yeah, Clockwork Orange is a brilliant film.
There's
Um,
there's a lot of films that depict certain dates. I mean, just look at, for instance, I mean, just look at The Simpsons.
Oh yeah,
cartoon
they're
series.
always picking dates, aren't they? Yeah.
They're always.
Well, not in dates,
Oh,
events.
the Simpsons,
Yeah.
the Simpsons come out with a load. I mean, some of the things that happened then.
I mean, how is that? I mean, like coming down Trump coming down the escalator, and you know, and that sign
Because
falling
maybe it's all scripted. Even real world is scripted.
Hmm.
Think
down. What
that.
about sort of for entertainment purposes only? The Looking Glass.
Through the Looking Glass.
No, Looking Glass project.
Well, you do have Alice and the Looking Glass, or whatever, the sequel to
Yeah.
Alice in the Wonderland, don't you?
And then you've got the.
But that was written before all this tech we were supposed to have. However,
Yeah, right.
the was it the chronovisor thing that
Yeah.
they've got at the Vatican? How
yeah,
old's that?
yeah.
They've found ancient tech that goes back like
Yeah.
thousands of years.
And then you've got obviously the Collider.
Mm.
Which you, yeah.
Well, if you think about it, like in all history, and this isn't my quote, but we've gone from horse and buggy to Hadron Collider in 200 years.
Yep.
Mm.
So why, in the last thousands of years, have we not been able to progress
And what
as
about
quickly as we've done in the last
and what about the
200 years?
pyramids? Who built them?
Aliens.
Well, yeah.
I mean, the
Has anyone done
technology,
films?
the technology that.
I'm still sticking with that.
Yeah, me too.
A higher
Me too.
race to build
Me
that,
too.
and then
Has there been a mainstream film that's ever sort of covered the ancient Egypt? There hasn't really.
No, they haven't.
Only
So-
the.
You get a bit like the Mummy and that kind of stuff.
No,
Yeah.
only a Predator
Is it
and
mine?
Alien and Predator. You know,
Yeah.
when they had the, that depicted there, didn't they?
Mm.
You know, and all that. But no, apart from that, who knows? So,
So,
jury's still out.
Alien involvement.
I've got another one.
Yeah.
Because Bones on War of the Worlds, classic.
I love that film.
Yeah.
One of my favourites.
What are the only messages in that one? Do you think?
That's again another one to depict a species of alien that wants to.
Because they were
Once
watching us.
our
They
way.
were watching
Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
and they thought that we were in superior being, and we weren't
Well,
worthy.
you
we weren't
have
worthy
the
of this
symbology of the eye, don't you? So,
Yeah.
which is classed as a watcher.
Mm.
The eye is a
planet.
watcher.
'Cause I think
It's
I
on
think
the dollar note, isn't it?
I mean, to
The
link
watcher.
that up, the War of the Worlds, and they attacked this world because they didn't think that we were worthy of this planet.
Well,
Well,
they,
I
want,
think-
they wanted the resources on this
Yeah.
planet.
Yeah, I
That's what they
think
wanted.
that going back to the pyramids, where I personally think, in my view, that the alien, that there's maybe not been aliens, but a superior race
Yes.
Yeah.
came down to this planet
Because
to help us, and they actually saw what we were all about and went,
well,
they're not ready for
they
this.
put. I mean, they put us here to because they wanted our resources, and they put us here to be the workers. That's where the name Adam comes from, the Danu, the man of the earth.
Adam,
We were put
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
It was a generic term for humans because we were put here to dig the earth out for the resources that they wanted.
So
Adam,
you-
Adam
Well-
wasn't just one man; it was
No.
it was a race of people.
Yeah.
So you think we were genetically manufactured to do the menial work? Yeah.
Yeah.
I could go with that. Yeah.
And so that goes back to War of the Worlds in that they're looking at this planet because Mars is running out of resources, which is another interesting thing.
oh,
How many
oh,
films have been done about Mars where there's alleged they found
Yeah.
evidence of defunct races, and it's gone because Mars has become a dead planet.
yeah.
So they've now gone to Earth because we've got the resources, we've got the atmosphere, and all the rest of it. So yeah, probably not far off.
So you're talking really? You're
I'm
talking
getting
about
good at
you're,
this,
you're
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
because we start thinking about this.
you're talking about alien commerce, really?
Yeah.
Like Jupiter Rising, or was it that film Jupiter Rising?
Jupiter Rising was a good one.
Yeah.
That talks about alien commerce in the planetary system, where they go from planet to planet and do all the resources and you know.
Well, even
Independence
very-
Day.
yeah, Independence Day.
that was
yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
The race, the aliens in
That was
Independence Day,
more
just
a
stripped the
sphere.
planet.
Yeah.
just stripped the
Killed
planet
everything.
resources and they moved on.
So yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah, we're probably a part of that, the resources, I think they're, because in apparently Eisenhower, was it in 47?
Yeah.
He made a pact with a certain race. That,
Yeah.
Was
you
that
know,
about the time of the Roswell incident?
It
by the
was,
way?
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Funny
Yeah.
fact.
And
but that was a
Operation-
weather balloon, though.
And Operation High Jump.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found a better film, and I can't believe we've been on live for 20 minutes and no one's mentioned it yet. And everybody's going to go, yeah, big time.
Good, yeah.
Da Vinci Code.
Mm.
Massive.
Loads and loads of messages.
Massive.
Loads of messages in that one. Then you had Demons and Angels, which was the sequel to that.
Correct.
Yeah,
Subliminal, yeah.
it was. I mean,
When the Da Vinci Code came out, I mean, Rome went into meltdown, didn't it?
yes, yeah. Oh yeah,
Massive.
they threw the dummy out of the pram out of
They,
that
the Vatican proper went,
But you know what?
Loopy
Because
on that
you probably didn't like what was being portrayed
No.
there, did they?
Well, for a long time, they've been trying to vote Revelations out of the Bible.
Hmm.
They've
And look
voted loads of scriptures out of the Bible in the past, and they've been trying to vote Revelations. And
and look who the Star
Well,
Wars
that
Da Vinci Code is. Bit ironic, wasn't
Yeah, Hanks.
That's it.
Tom
Tom
Hanks.
Hanks, yeah, yeah. I mean, yes. I mean, there's examples of bad aliens, as it were, wanting to take their world for what they want.
Oh.
The flip side, what about the good aliens that are in films?
They are helping, I suppose,
E.T..
supposedly they are.
E.T. was a prime example.
it? 80.
Close Encounters of a Third
Yeah.
Kind. That was.
Were they good?
what was
Oh,
the
Close Encounters
I've
of
never
a
seen
Third
that.
the
film
underwater one?
Abyss.
Abyss. That's
Yeah,
it.
that
Yeah,
was
I
a
love
great
that
one.
film. Yeah.
Um,
Me too. I like that. Yeah.
Now that was 1979. Close Encounters.
Is that the one where it's do do do?
Yeah, that's it.
And they were
And
trying
And
to decide for the
they're
code,
finding
yeah,
a way
sort of
to
thing.
communicate, and they've done it
Ah,
for music and light.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which that light
Contact with Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know that was
Good on
based on the that was based
that's
on
based on a real device.
the real device. That was based on the Looking Glass device.
Mm.
Yeah, it
the,
would
the
surprise
device, the device
Because
was exactly like
Because
that.
because it spins round and they
Mm.
drop a sphere in, because it opens a wormhole, and they dropped this sphere into it, and apparently she'd only been gone a few. No, it
There's-
seemed like
For
she
now-
dropped straight through, but
Yeah.
she'd been gone 20 minutes.
There's oh, I'm trying to think, it's just popped into my mind. There's you know, like that picture of Atlas in a
Holding
big
up the
circle,
world,
Yeah.
like that thing, and but there's one with a ball and lots of
Yeah.
rings around it.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just trying
right,
to think which one it is, but
Yeah.
I've seen that before, and it reminded me of that Contact film
Yeah.
because it's all spinning, all these
Yeah.
rings round.
Because have you seen the film Concept where you actually see
Yeah,
I mean it now. We actually see the device. It's massive, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they go and someone tries to sabotage it or something.
yeah, the first one, but then
I'm going to use the loose.
Haddon, I'll watch the dog out there. Haddon says he's paid for another one, didn't he? The her benefactor.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Because as far as I was concerned, she was only gone for a couple of minutes,
Yeah.
but in
Except
her
in-
time,
When there's 20
she was
minutes
gone for
of
18
video,
hours.
isn't it?
In the
18 hours. or
when they were
something.
talking about it right at the end, she said,
Mm.
"I'm interested that there's like 20 minutes worth of blank
Video.
footage."
Yeah.
And he said, "Yes, that is interesting, isn't it?"
Yeah, that's
That's
it.
it.
Leave
What
there.
about George Orwell's 1984?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yes.
classic.
That's where we
that,
headed.
that's one of that is like the go-to film when we look at how we're trying to be herded into that kind of thing.
I've done my research.
And it is that they're trying to do it with our history. Now there's
Yeah.
was it the Ministry of Truth?
Yes,
Where they're just constantly
that was
going
his
through.
job, wasn't it?
Yeah,
To
yeah,
delete
John
history
Hurt's.
and put
Yeah.
their own. Yeah.
Well, the John Hurt version is one I've seen, but yeah, he's going through and changing
Yeah.
historical documents to suit the
Narrative.
suit the narrative. And what are they trying to do now? They're trying to tell us that ancient Britons were black and the Vikings were black, and it's just nothing against whatever race you are, but they're trying to say no. They're trying to change it so that thousands of years of history is suddenly no, it's this. I mean, you know, as I say, the Viking thing, they're trying to say that, you know, we were trans and we were black. And like, okay, because Vikings didn't write things down. Right, there's occasional runes everywhere, but there's Vikings tended to hand stories down. So I'm sure, being Viking descent, so Jeff, my lineage has been here as far as I can tell for 1100 years. I'm sure there would have been a story come down the line saying, oh, by the way, you know, during the line there was loads of African descent people. I mean, come on, you know. But so 1984, and what they're trying to do now, rewriting history and telling us that, I mean, the people. I mean, the good thing is, it seems like people have finally come to the senses. You know, I mean, J.K. Rowling, Sharon Davis, we've been standing up for women, you know, and they've been pilloried for it. No, you can't say that. A trans woman is a, you know, that sort of thing. And they've been standing up and saying, hang on, finally that's now gaining traction, and we seem to be going back to a bit of common sense. But it's that thing where everyone's trying to rewrite what is good, what is, you know.
They're trying to funnel us into something.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm not going to dwell on it because, you know, there's.
Plasma's mentioned a couple of movies: Blade Runner and iRobot.
Yes.
Yeah, both great movies.
iRobot. That's a good premise, because the robots were trying to save humanity, and they were then programmed to kill humanity because humanity was killing itself.
Yeah. There was an interesting.
Blade Runner Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That was all about.
That was great because it was automatons.
Like clones or whatever.
Yeah.
Was it clones or? What do they call them?
They were synthetics.
Synthetics. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
well worth
Yeah.
watching.
What's that?
Blade Runner.
Oh yeah, I've seen Blade Runner.
I've
Yeah,
never seen it.
And trying to,
Harrison Ford, yeah, the first one.
you know,
the second one as well.
artificial intelligence, you know, just.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they had a
basically
shelf life,
synthetic
didn't they?
robots that look like humans.
They had a
That have
shelf
been
life.
programmed
Yeah.
with human memories. So
that Blade Runner about 84, 85.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good for its
Yeah.
time, mate. Well ahead for its time.
Rutger Hauer, was it? Rutger Hauer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a smashing film.
I'm just going to Google Blade Runner. I think I might have it now. 84, 85.
Paranormal Essex says, "Hi all."
Hi Adam, hi Ryan. Hey. Yeah, we've just been mentioned about the live stream we're going to do on the 12th. We're looking forward to that. And we'll sort that Zoom call out.
82.
82, that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
I don't know if any of this is making sense to you as well, Adam, but talking about the messages within films and stuff, just sort of going back to the ET thing and saying about how there's the good ETs.
Yeah.
And I've been watching a sort of binging Superman. And I've been watching
Technically,
Smallville.
he's a good ET.
But he is a good ET. He's like saying, he's trying to help us out. And saying, look, you need to stop doing this, that, and the
And
other.
he's the only from what I can remember, he's the only superhero whose alter ego is a human. His
No,
real
Green Hornet.
persona.
Green Hornet?
Yeah.
What, Peter Sellers? Oh, no, Peter Sellers, I'm thinking of...
Weren't he a human at the start? Green Hornet.
Yeah, he probably was at the start.
And Batman.
No, but
Batman's always been human.
yeah, but Batman, it's Superman's real person is Superman. Batman's real person is
Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne.
I thought Superman was a newspaper editor.
He
No,
was a
No,
reporter.
he's from the planet Krypton.
No, he portrayed
His
that
fake
to cover
character
his,
is
to cover up his
Clark Kent.
real identity. Yeah.
to cover up his identity.
Daily Planet.
All the others have got are human, are earthly man, normal, and their alter ego is the superhero. Superman, his alter ego is a normal human.
Yeah.
Well, so what about the Hulk?
David Banner.
David Banner.
David
David Banner.
Yeah.
He never tried to hide it from anyone.
No.
So that's what
he didn't have any
But then
control
he
over his
wasn't-
alter ego.
Yeah. No, he didn't.
I
no.
see.
Yeah.
That's 2.
What
Right.
about,
Uh,
what
Put me on a
about,
mission now. Try and find Roadrunner.
what about the film They Live? They Live.
They live.
They Live.
That's
They Live's a good one,
another
isn't it?
one. Yeah. Yeah. I was just going to say with Superman. As I say, I've just watched Superman 4, and the message in that was so, to me,
I haven't seen that
abundantly
one yet,
clear.
have you?
Gene Hackman's in that.
Yes, Nuclear Man.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Right. So yeah, Gene Hackman gets a
And
strand of his hair
And if you cover it,
and
the
zaps
dark,
it with.
in the darkness, the bloke loses his power, doesn't he?
Mm.
'Cause it's
Well,
not sunlight.
It's a bit like the kryptonite, isn't it?
well, Superman's trying to basically tell us to stop making nuclear weapons, and if he says if you don't do it, I'm going to take them, and you do see him in the end. He gets all the nuclear weapons
He
in the
shoves
world
them out in space.
and throws them out into space, or at the sun actually, blows them up. Now there's been stories, or whatever you want to call them, where we've had our nuclear sites shut down.
I've heard this.
Yeah, it's whether there's any truth in this, don't know. But
Hang on
there's
a minute. There's a video of one of the nuclear missiles being deactivated by some
there's a UAP, wasn't it? Come over,
UFO firing a beam at
Yeah,
it
just a
several
beam of
times,
light.
and then it's
and
lost control,
the nuclear weapons just shut down. I mean,
Or that could just be propagating the nuclear weapon theory,
could be.
because we know
anything's
I-
possible. Bev.
But then, then there's
theory.
with you know, again, there's other report stories. I don't know what the truth is in it, if there is any. The EBEs, extraterrestrials, what you want to call them, are saying that the nuclear weapons testing where it's splitting the atom, it's ripping into the fabric of space and time. So whether that's another reason why I want to stop us doing it,
I don't personally. I don't think they'll allow us to.
I don't think so.
I think it's just scaremongering.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
if you imagine like a powers that be want to keep us in fear,
oh, yeah.
nuclear war.
Yeah, of
We're,
course.
I mean, at the
It's not
moment
gonna
we're
No.
in fear of World War III.
Well, we just had the
Could happen, could
for
happen.
entertainment purposes. We just had that other thing since 2001 or whatever. 3 years of that.
2001. 2020?
2020,
Yeah.
maybe.
Sorry.
2020. Sorry. That scare for
It
what,
kept
3
a
years.
lot of people. People in fear are more easily controlled.
Mm.
Yeah, fear is a good
No.
control mechanism.
And if
isn't
you think about the last, say, 100 years, maybe, well, yeah, pretty much before the Second World War, but it's one thing after another to keep you in fear. And don't,
Yeah.
in between the calm, you had terrorist attacks,
Yeah.
didn't you?
it?
You know, and then you had 2020, and then all of a sudden that stopped because there was an unfortunate situation in Ukraine, and 2020
Well,
kind of got wiped off the map.
They overcooked the thing that happened in 2020. They overcooked it, so it was like, oh, they're not believing this anymore. Next step's Ukraine.
Let's do the
We'll
next
ramp
fear
it up.
mongering
Yeah,
step.
yeah, we'll do that.
But now it's Russia.
Yeah.
isn't it?
So yeah, but yeah, I mean that was an example with it. You know, friendly aren't shutting down the sites. I firmly believe our trident missile test didn't work because the missile got shut down. That's my feeling on it. Yeah, that's my feeling on it. But that, you know, it was watching that Superman 4 now, and I never watched it back in the day. So I think there's a reason why I never watched that one. I watched 1, 2, and 3, but I watched 3 again before I watched 4. There's a scene in it where they have a monthly bingo, and whoever if your ball gets pulled out, you win a prize. And there was a couple in there that won a weekend to, you know, they had a holiday somewhere, and probably yeah.
Oh, no,
Yeah, that's another one. But yeah, so the ball machine comes in, and one ball comes out. It's like 53. Guess what number the second ball is?
Don't tell me. 33.
It is indeed.
Oh, that's a surprise.
And there's something else you want to watch out for when we see videos, films, TV, and it was one example of the 33 with one of the riots. I think it might have been to do with Southport, where there was an innocent blonde woman
The bus,
in her
wasn't it? The
70s.
police van, wasn't it?
Yeah, kind of. It was there, so there was apparently this 70-year-old blonde woman who was walking through where protests were going on,
Ah,
minding her own business,
right.
and then gets nicked by the police. What's above the door that she's getting nicked?
Oh,
33.
33.
Another one to watch out for is 18 or 1 and 8,
Mm.
aces and eights.
Yeah.
That's in a lot of symbology as well.
Mm.
Before I forget, Neil mentioned iRobot.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good one, Neil. Yeah,
Yeah.
seen that many times.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Robot, was that one,
so. That's Will
Will
Smith,
Will Smith, yeah.
and they had,
you know.
and this is when people had.
We talked about that earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, did
Yeah.
mention
Oh,
it,
Plasma,
but just
Plasma mentioned it, yeah.
yeah, just a quick recap. People have got, let's say, like Asimo is a robot helper that does all the household chores.
Right.
This new model
It's called
comes.
your wife, isn't it?
Really?
For entertainment purposes
And
only.
that's why Jeff isn't married, by the way.
So they had
Good
this,
luck, Karen.
they had this earlier model robot, and it was just there to do your chores. It was
Yeah.
fine. It cracked on. There was no thing. This new model comes out, and all lauding how good it is, and it's got AI, and all of a sudden they can switch it so it goes after humanity.
But it's clever because it goes after humanity to save humanity.
Yeah.
Because its premise is to protect
Mm.
humans, but when it sees humans as a threat as killing other humans,
Yeah.
then it has to kill humans.
So the
And that's what Will Smith
The
does.
free
He
law-
breaks the programming of this robot.
so the three laws didn't work really, did it?
Asimov's 3 laws. Yeah.
What, washing,
Yeah.
cleaning, and food.
It's do no harm, do nothing that could cause harm, and so I can't remember the other one
Do
is.
no harm, cause no
I
harm,
read
or
I
something.
read the Asimov thing when I was in 4th year seniors, I think. But yeah, and one of the interesting scenes in that film, although the previous robots had no emotional, that was portrayed as just being automatons with no emotion.
Definitely one.
When they were getting put into the storage, and you kind of felt sorry for them because it's like they've done nothing wrong, they've done their job, and they're still continuing to do a good job. It's like-
Because we are, as
want
humans, we
something
are
better.
generally empathic.
Mm.
And if something is willingly helping us
Mm.
and then they're shut down, we feel sorry for it. It's like having, in a way, a pet put down. A
Yeah.
pet that served you, been faithful to you for however many years, and its time has come,
Oh.
you feel guilty, don't
Mm.
you?
The thing is, that just says to me that our weak spot, our Adam's Achilles heel, is our emotions.
It's also a great strength.
Oh, yeah, I'd say that.
Our
yeah.
strength is our weakness.
Because
that's our thing.
if we didn't have those emotions, then we could just be robots as well.
That's
It's-
what
that's what
We'd
sets
be
us
a
apart.
and that's why they're trying to, for entertainment purposes only, they're trying to shut down.
Yeah.
The interesting thing when I opened that storage up, the robots weren't all sitting in their uniform. They had all congregated with each other, which okay.
Their programming.
Yeah.
It's like Red Dwarf with Crichton when
Yeah.
Lister was trying for absolutely ages to get into
What's this?
programming.
It's an off-duty Czechoslovakian traffic warden.
Use my Hoover.
It's an aardvark.
So yeah, he taught him to overcome his
Yeah,
program.
break his program by line.
I got on the film.
Go on then.
I'll see if you can guess the film then. It's a message for humans not to mess with nature because it'll come back and bite you in the arse. What film is it?
Most films, eh? Avatar.
No.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, what I'm thinking anyway. It's into my mind.
Planet of the
Yeah,
Apes.
good luck with that one.
Planet of the Apes.
No. That's silly.
No, not
When I say
the
it-
Mars one with Schwarzenegger in.
No.
No, because when you're saying into my mind, that reminded me of that. Get me out of it. That's it.
When I say it, you'll go.
Go on then. Give us another clue.
No, well, that hits in suspension.
Jurassic Park.
Yes.
That's to do with cloning, though, isn't it? technology again.
Hello.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, that's happening now anyway.
Life
What
will
happened?
find a way.
Yeah,
What
It's a good
happened?
point.
they bred all
Nature finds
because
a way.
they bred all females. Used they're missing strands of DNA, so they used frog DNA.
And some frogs are known
and
to
they-
change sex. Yeah.
Yeah, and they've been known in a single sex environment to spontaneously change sex.
So they see they did it. They bred all females
Mm.
because they knew that it to be like a docile breed.
No,
Because
No,
they
it's
were
just-
all
No.
because they were all females, and they,
because
know
they
that
just
they
didn't want
couldn't
them
come to any
like,
harm because they
repopulating.
couldn't be techno.
No, it's nothing to do with that. They didn't want them breeding.
Yeah.
Spit it out, mate. Go on, you can do it.
Well, I see. Actually, I see what you're
I'm
saying.
done for being a sexist.
I see
Yeah, you
what
will.
you're saying because if they bred all males, male species are generally the males of species are territorial.
Testosterone.
Yeah, are territorial. So
That's
if
what
you'd
I'm
have bred
getting at.
all male T
They'd be
Rexes or
fighting
male
all the time,
Velociraptors, they'd spend their time fighting each other for
Exactly.
territory.
But they
So
only had one
I get
female
what you're saying.
T-Rex.
Mm.
They only had one, didn't they?
Yeah.
In the film?
So by doing all female, you didn't get that issue. But as I said, using the frog DNA, it's
But
spontaneously
there was
changes.
1 week of the month you would not want to be on this bloody earth. And all them bloody females living together. Because
Yeah.
they all synchronised to 1 week of
Jeff,
that month.
that's just humans.
You just do not
Just
go to
humans,
You're not
seriously.
near that dinosaur
That's it, mate.
this week.
Yeah. Stay out.
The other three
You've
weeks,
lost
got
some-
headache.
She was alright last week.
Actually, there's not. There are certain species of animals that do kick off when it's, when they're
Well,
in
they just get
season.
frisky, don't they? Obviously.
Well, I mean, parrots, for one example. No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. When parrots are in season, they go mental.
Really?
Just stick a mirror in front of them, you'll find out.
Yeah, they
But
do.
even like when I had cats and I had a female, because I always wanted to have one cat that had kittens, and when it was her time, she was out there literally catcalling,
They're on heat, aren't they?
and and I had to bring her in
Yeah.
because I wanted her to, Oscar, the white one. Did you ever meet Oscar?
No.
No, I was called as it was.
No, I was in Holly.
But I had the
Holly
male
was
and the
alright.
female,
Holly were alright.
and she started out there calling. I'm like, get in, you're staying inside now, and he can see. I wanted her to breed with my tomcat. you know?
Yeah.
And then I'd have done after that lot sort of thing. But she was right tart. She was. Yeah, absolute tart. She was like, I mean, with him, she was like what I
So
saw
many one-liners
out there
like
flickering her
that.
tail, and
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, she was.
So-
It was quite funny actually to watch. But
But there was another thing in Jurassic Park, not just the single sex environment, but they were bred to be lipsine deficient,
yes,
so they
could
couldn't
just switch
last.
it off or something.
Yeah.
Oh, if
Yeah.
they didn't get the
If they didn't get their lipsine
Yeah.
shots, then they'd die.
That's
Well,
like Blade Runner, wouldn't it?
they
Because
found-
had a shelf life, didn't they?
Yeah.
And
But the
androids.
what the freaking hell? The herbivore dinosaurs were eating plants that were rich in lipsine, therefore getting their
Their
yeah,
fix.
getting their
Yeah.
fix of lipsine, and of course the carnivore dinosaurs were eating the herbivore dinosaurs and getting the lipsine through the meat of the herbivores. So yeah,
so that didn't work then, did it?
no. So yeah, you can bring these things back and then
Mother
and
Nature,
try and engineer them, and it don't work.
Mother Nature
So
does
it is a
have her
lesson.
way, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it is a
you know,
lesson.
I mean, androgynous, you got that kind of
Mm.
situation as well. You know.
I've never seen the film, right? But there's a film that keeps coming into my head since we've had this thing. Dune.
June.
That's oh
About
yes.
Mars, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, that's that's
Spice.
I watched that a little while
Spice.
back. It's something to do with spice. Not
The spice.
it's
yeah,
something to do with
millennium.
sand as well, isn't it? And they're
Sandworms.
Mm.
Yeah.
they're mining
That
stuff
one
and
as well. I
They're
can't
mining
get good at
spice.
this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
See,
it's like you get the rich part, the nice part, and then you get the basic part where they go in and they mine.
Mm.
Are you sure it's not sand? I'm sure it's something to do with sand.
It is sand,
Hence
yeah.
the word
Yeah.
Dune, yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
sand. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a sand world. That was.
Yeah,
You know.
it's desert. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
But they were mining spice. You had these like.
What, the drug spice?
No,
There was a spice that they were.
It was like
mining,
a mineral that
yeah.
they were mining, and they had these miners there, and they caused the vibration which attracted these sandworms, and they would sort of
Tremors.
the
Do
tremors,
you remember
yeah,
Tremors?
that would attract the sand. And they had these portable things they used to put in the sand, you know, that attracted them. And you had these like tribe called the Fremen that had blue eyes, but they were like the indigenous kind of tribe that were living on that, you know, that fought against the
And they were underground again, weren't they?
underground, yeah. And they had these water things underground,
Reservoirs.
like reservoirs underground, yeah.
Well, there is, what do they call it? I saw a clip the other day about it. Not natural water, but there's loads of springs and stuff underneath the earth, and that's there's even stuff under the desert that they could pump into with enough equipment and bring it up. And there's like literally rivers.
What the
I'm not
natural
surprised.
resources
And if
left
you-
on this earth.
yeah,
you know,
when
tapped
you
into are
Make
crazy.
like
Yeah.
a borehole or whatever, you know, you tap into the earth's natural.
Well, why
water
should
system
we
underneath.
do that when we can have nice water that
It's got those chemicals in there.
fogs apart Pyrenees?
Yeah. And furs
Then
our,
One nil.
furs our kettle up, and yeah,
Yeah.
Anyway,
buggers the washing machine up. Plasma said the day the earth stood still.
Oh, no.
I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
That's my
that's
favourite.
a-
It's just classic.
The day
Day
the
the
earth
Earth
stood
Stood
still.
that was a
Not
brilliant,
seen it.
brilliant film.
Brilliant film.
It was remade, and I think Keanu Reeves
Keanu
did that.
Reeves, yeah.
It's another film that
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves in.
Keanu Reeves done the
He
latest
does
one, but
look-
it was Michael Rennie that done the original.
That was a robot that was sent to destroy everything, and
Well, it wasn't sent.
It was a
Or
police.
to-
It was a police
or
role.
to-
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Kind of?
wasn't it to check out what was going on and
Yeah.
then to make a decision? And
Again, it was like humanity. Sort your,
If you don't
sort your
change
crap
your
out.
ways, the earth will be
Yeah.
disintegrated.
And the robot just went right. If we'll give you a warning, and the robot just stopped the earth. It
right, well,
just stopped running.
there's a series of films like that then, and we're overlooking that one as well.
Yeah.
Transformers.
Well, it all points to
Oh,
technology.
I am the dogs at this
See
time.
now you're going to be watching films now going,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
And I'm not really a big film watcher, am I?
So why
I
are,
don't-
why are you pointing out all these films that you haven't watched?
Because you're noticing it now.
Because I'm good.
Yeah.
But
You-
to be
you're
honest,
noticing
if
it.
I watch a film now, well, for the last 5 years maybe, I'm watching for the subliminal messages in it. I'm like, yeah, right, pointing that out.
Yeah.
Just
I bet
you
you're
just
right up to
can
watch
see it.
them with them.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like,
I'm,
"Get up!"
yeah, no, I'm not. Absolutely not. I'm like, you
You
know.
sit there with your notepad and still that's a film.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I knew that. I knew that. I knew that.
Yeah. So
No, that's a load of
yeah, it's
But there is so much nowadays.
yeah,
There is
yeah.
in films.
But you
Well,
know,
there always-
we're just
to be
saying
honest, there
that
always has
these, you know, look for these things when you're watching because they're telling us all sorts of
Yeah.
films.
Right, is it now then? I'm going to throw a spanner in the works here. Is it actual messages in films, or is it what we are interpreting? Because I've said to Heather all this along, when I used to come here and I was told that X, Y, Z were going to happen and this, that, and the other, when certain other people
Yeah.
used to live here.
Yeah,
Dipshit.
yeah,
Anyway, and that oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, this is going to happen, and I'm like, where do you get that from? Well, I saw it in okay. It was on a website, it was on an official website. Right, okay. Well, I'm going to set up, my answer to this was, I'm going to set up an official website saying that the Earth is triangular. And it's true because there's a bloody website about it.
yeah,
So, where am I going with this?
yeah. I
And
get
that's
where
right,
you come
yeah,
from.
I'm trying-
Are we because this group, and I'm sitting on the fence on everything, and I always like, oh, prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Prove me right, prove me wrong, whatever you want to say. I always think, is it what we're now perceiving, because that's the answer we want,
Yeah,
or are we,
I think there's certain things I think we can perceive. We could probably maybe look too much into stuff.
because if you
But-
want the answer to something, and if you want a certain answer, that answer is out there, you've just got to look for it.
Yeah,
And then you've got the proof for that answer.
yeah,
Or I could counteract that by finding the answer, the counteractive answer, because there's proof of that.
yeah,
And it's what you want to believe in, which road you want to go down to.
yeah.
That's what I see.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what we can say, as I say, the 30, the 33 thing. whoever that message is to, why is it in so many things?
Yeah.
As
And
I
it's
say,
mostly news reports. It's not necessarily
News
films,
reports.
It's mostly news reports.
yeah, news
And
reports
you
because
get the fake names of the people,
Mm.
like Gale Weathers reporting a cyclone,
Mm.
that sort of thing. And
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, you do,
that's
you
something
do.
you're looking into, aren't
no,
you?
no, it's true that there is a thing
yeah, it's happened.
with
Yeah, it's happened.
like names of reporters that are, I'm trying to, like Steve Banks, who's reporting on a banking collapse or something like that,
Financial
or
crisis.
Arthur Robin talking about a robber or something like that.
Mm.
Honestly, it is a thing. You can look it up.
No, there was
And
a book-
there's
there was a
news
book-
clips, and it will say the name underneath.
There was a book about incontinence that was written by I.P. Knightley.
There you go. But it is that kind of thing.
Yeah. But as I say, the 33 thing, yeah, it does probably pop up. I got that, Jeff.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I did.
I've got that.
Yes.
The 33 thing, yeah, it does pop up in news articles, but
Well, look at
we
where-
also.
where 33 turns up on a daily rate, well, on a regular thing now. A certain can of energy drink. I don't know if I can mention.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
33
about.
turns up
Yeah.
on that. If you turn a certain
That's
can,
Monster. That's 666.
I didn't really want to say.
Yeah, it's the Jewish.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's half of
Hebrew
6? Yeah, what's half of what's divisible by 666?
333.
It's Hebrew.
Yeah.
And if you turn a certain can of that stuff on its, well,
It's
now
only a
you
drink.
said
We're
it's
not
Monster,
promoting it. We're
No,
just
no,
talking
but
about
you
it.
know, I don't
Yeah.
know if you could use a brand name.
Mm.
Anyway, if you turn
There's
that
he with a
certain
can
ways,
of Coca-Cola over there. But anyway, yeah.
anyway, the 33 does come up quite a lot.
Yeah, as I say, it's there, and from the TV reports, as I say, in Superman 3, and again watching an old British horror film from 1973 called The Monster Club.
I've
No.
seen that. I like that.
Yeah, it's a great film. Well, it's a collection of stories. In the first story, there's a.
Vampire. you're
That's
talking
right. Yeah, the first one's about vampires.
Yeah. Right.
And the guy has to find his sister to tell her that their dad has passed, but he's left everything to her, and he's having none of it. He wants the whole lot.
And he kills her, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, to spoil the film.
I'm not
yeah.
watching that film. no.
Well, there's three more stories. But we won't bother about them. But this one was the interesting one. When he turns up at the flat that she lives, what's the number on the door? 33. Yeah. Why is that coming up so much? You know what I mean?
It comes up a lot.
Yeah.
And you'll see it in news reports where like a woman was murdered or something like that, or a man was arrested for something, and it'll be so and so, age 33, or the time stamp of the news report will be something 33, that sort of thing. So yeah, it does come up a lot. Oh, another one bites the dust.
Ta-ra!
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's coming up everywhere. And something about music videos,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you know.
Before we go into that, Alpha Paranormal has just said good evening and greetings from Germany.
Hello, Germany.
Hello, Germany.
Good Abend. I think I got that right.
I know no
Apologies.
German.
Uh,
I never learned that.
So here's one which I watched the other day. Well, I watched it a little while ago, and I went, "What the blooming hell's that all about?"
Yeah, I know.
Avril Lavigne,
Yeah.
Skater
Don't
Boy.
read too much in it.
So in that video, there's pentagrams everywhere. And when they park the car up, and she's dancing on top of, what's it sitting over?
33.
No, pentagram. Pentagram.
Oh.
The black and white flooring comes up a lot as well, doesn't it? The checkered flooring.
That's
Which
the
is
that's
a
the
Masonic
Masonic
thing, yeah.
Something kind of checkered.
I wanted to check back on that because
Check back.
I'm trying to think of some Jamiroquai videos, and I really hope he wasn't part of that because I like
No,
Jamiroquai.
so I'm gonna smash all my CDs.
Yeah, likewise. I love Jamiroquai because he never seems to me he's part of that thing, you know.
that what?
They've all signed the contract.
Yeah, part of that. Part of that
How
club.
do you think they get where they are?
Yeah, you don't get to be where you are without.
Well, I mean, in years gone.
Right, how do you spell it?
Jam. Jam. IR.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah. Just see that you'll have various videos come up. Just see if there's anything.
What's his main one?
Emergency on Planet Earth.
Virtual Insanity.
Virtual
Oh,
Insanity.
no, that's plain.
Oh, it is
The
plain. That's
floor.
all right. Yeah.
Well, that's the start of the video anyway.
Yeah. No, the whole floor is plain, if I remember. I think
Yeah.
really clever how they done that.
Don't Bruno Mars have a film, have a song with a
Oh.
checkered floor in it?
Yeah, he would have.
A lot of them do, don't they? That Hollywood.
I mean, Jamiroquai is very popular, but he's never sort of mainstream. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, he's
He
had
was
number
very
one,
niche,
hasn't
wasn't
Yeah.
he? He had a good car collection.
he? Yeah, it's all plain.
That's to be seen on Adams Autos.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Oh, what about, I've got a film,
Yeah.
39 Steps.
Yes. Yeah.
Does that ring a
Robert
bell?
Downey. The old
Mm.
one.
That was very controversial when it came out.
Yeah, because it.
Charlotte's Web.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're spy thrillers, aren't they? Yeah. Secret. Yeah.
And I'm almost hasten to worry, wonder what James Bond films would have gone down that
Never
route.
seen a James Bond.
Because James Bond was actually based on Ian Fleming's experiences.
It was in the SAS, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ian Fleming.
Or something to do
Yeah, it
with
was.
Secret
Yeah.
Services. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in that.
Yeah.
And there was one story about he had to get from one part of the UK to the other because it's during wartime, and he had to get there really quickly, but because the lights out.
Oh, what the bombing because of the
Did he use an Aston
Yeah.
Martin?
I don't think it was an Aston, but this guy was an absolute ace of a driver, and he just went hell for leather to get Ian Fleming to where he wanted to go, and it was just driving like he'd never seen, and that kind of
Driving
got
like he
incorporated into the James Bond thing.
Yeah.
Well, ever since then, there's been car chases in every good film,
We
isn't
never
there?
used a Saab, it had a broken down.
One of them. No, it depends what one.
Oh, dear, oh dear.
Didn't they use a 2CV in one of them?
Yes, yeah, yeah, that did. No, well,
I
yes,
think they should have used a Jag.
yeah, no, they tried to get a Jag there, but it didn't.
As soon as you've gone to Ford, get a Jag there, it's a super on there, isn't it, Jag?
I think they should
Um,
have used an Aston 2CV. Yo, speed. Whoa.
Think of some other songs.
I mean, flipping it around. I mean, Michael Jackson.
No, I'm not having that.
No,
You
not.
leave Michael alone.
No, he's the opposite.
Michael, my mate.
Yeah, he was. You know, he was against what was going
Well,
on.
he tried to break out, didn't he?
Mm.
Like George Michael. Because do you remember
Yeah.
that argument he had with Sony?
Sony, same
Yeah.
as MJ. And they got into all sorts of trouble.
They didn't last much longer after that, did they?
No. I mean, MJ's that's situation with the children. That came out shortly after his Dangerous album, and
It's a bit ironic.
yeah,
Well,
exactly that.
he was trying to tell
He was trying to.
things on one of his podcasts I've seen. He was trying to tell what was happening, and after that, it all went to pot, didn't it?
Yeah, that Dangerous album was precisely why it was called that, because Pooh was going to hit the fan, and it did.
Well, there's a is it a recording of the
Oh.
dad of the boy that something or other that he was saying that he was going to stitch him up for millions and
Yeah.
get the money out of him and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Oh, I've got a song for you.
Go on.
Suspicious Minds. Elvis. We're caught in a trap.
Yeah.
You read the you think I'm getting really good at this.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I saw recently.
Yeah.
For entertainment purposes only, the thing about Diana, Princess Diana,
Oh, oh.
and the car. They you see them getting into the car, right? they checked the number plate out. Right?
33.
It was a black number plate with silver thing.
Yeah, those photographs were.
And when you saw
Yes.
the car, it was yellow. The
Mm.
number plate was yellow.
There's
That's
been
pretty
photographs of a different number plate, and
Different
it
number plate.
turned out that the photographs of the number plate of the other number plate was from a different night or something like that.
Mm.
So they either switched cars or.
But then I've heard that people have reported who were in Paris that night at the time that she got out of the car and walked out,
Yeah.
walked into the ambulance.
I heard that as well. I heard that.
Rumours.
Yeah.
Apparently
Yeah.
Elvis is still alive.
Yeah. Apparently he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
On the building site with George Michael.
Yeah, I mean, going down the music route, the Sting. Another one. I think he's not. No,
Don't.
no.
Yeah.
Although I think he had to.
Of course they are. They all are.
I think.
Don't you get it?
I think.
Heather, you know.
I think Sting had to do something to
Oh, they're all
forsake
in
them.
it.
If you're saying
Because-
Metallica are, then I'm not going to have it.
They're all in the same club.
They'll get off at some point in their early career.
No.
They'll get offered.
No.
We can make you a star
Heavy metal
if you
bands
sign
are
his
not.
contract.
Heavy metal bands are not.
I was about to say with
No.
Sting.
No.
I mean, I've looked through all his Twitter account, and a lot of musicians like him will only talk about their music. They won't talk about anything else. To them, it's their music. And they've never come out of anything political or anything like that. Stay away from it. I think he might have had to do something because he did pop up one thing saying Slava Ukraine. There was that one tweet.
What about
That was it. I've looked all through his account.
There is
What
one.
about,
Sorry, go on.
what about this recent thing at the Glastonbury, the Bob Dylan
Oh,
thing?
Bob Villan.
Bob Dylan.
That's
Yeah,
it.
he said death to all Iranians.
Yeah.
Fucking hell,
and
shit
it
like
was
that.
dead to the IDF.
Yeah.
That's really put a cat.
Well,
in
he's
that.
lost
Right.
his-
So a woman gets
He's lost his
locked up
American visa.
for a tweet.
Yeah, and yet these.
And
all
yet
the stuff-
Oh,
they
no,
can say-
he's going to get locked
No.
up for that. He's under investigation. He's lost
I think
his
they've
visa.
only been able to push it so far now.
Oh,
But
that is really.
no, that's what I mean. I think they've been able to push that
That is
agenda.
really.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it's going slightly down the route there. But just going back to Sting quickly. Now, as we know, the Sting police have produced some phenomenal music.
I like.
Yeah.
I used to have all their albums. Yeah, I love them.
Walking on the
Love
moon.
them. Yeah.
There's a message in that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Message in a bottle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a message in that one.
That was just someone putting out,
Don't stand so close to me.
a lonely person, and then it just all
Was that
come
police?
putting that message out there, and it come flooding back to him. Spirits of the Material World. No, I've not heard that for a long, long time.
I love the album. I
One
like
of
all
the
the
first
albums.
ones.
Yeah, it was an early song. Yeah,
That was well early. That was before Message in the Bottle.
yeah. I'd not heard that. As I said, I'd not heard that for a long, long time. And I was on my way to Putney. I was on my bike, so I got my music going for me, Bluetooth and all that. And literally, just as I got to the pub, that song come on, and I just had to sit there and listen to it. And I'm glad that I did, because that is explaining exactly what we are and who we are.
Spirits of the Material.
Yeah,
World.
we're
So when
spirits
you
of the
looked at your
Material.
watch, it was 33 minutes past 20.
Yeah.
No, it was 8:31.
Excuse me, I just got to sit down.
But yeah,
Stop in there.
Do you want anyone want a cuppa while I'm up there?
I'll just have another moment. Yeah.
one have tea.
Have a tea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Ev. Anyway.
All right.
So,
Thanks a sec.
Yeah, I mean, those they are all out there. You
There
just,
was one singer, I thought, and he's turned out to be a little bit dodgy. I think. Rolf Harris.
yeah, he was a bit dodgy, wasn't
A
he?
bit of a dodge.
Bit
Talking
dodgy.
about
Bit dodge.
yeah, it's, in
Two
that,
little boys. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
it's all abundantly clear now, isn't it?
Oh, Gary Glitter, innit? I mean, come on. Gary Glitter.
Don't get me going
Oh.
about paedophiles, for God's sake.
Yeah.
No, we ain't going to go down that route. That's,
No.
no, not.
Anyway,
at all.
but what I'm saying is, yeah, there's a lot of films out there. I mean, my one is obviously what I said before, the Parallax View,
Mm.
because there was a secret organisation behind all the assassinations. So that's what the film was about, and it was quite good in its time. you know, and
Yeah.
opens your eyes a bit, you know, and you think, oh yeah,
I was thinking with Star Wars.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's my highlight.
Have you
of
seen?
the
Have you seen the Dead Zone? That's good.
night. No.
Yeah, that's good. You've seen Dead
I
Zone?
haven't
Dead
seen-
Zone.
I don't watch that many films, to be fair.
But Christopher Walken plays a psychic,
Christopher Walken.
psychic
Oh yeah.
medium. Sees
Let's have a
things
look at
happen. In the end,
Hmm.
yeah, I won't tell you about it. in the
He's
end,
on
but
weird.
it's quite
He's
good.
on weird songs, eh? Christopher Walken.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
tell me about it.
Mm.
What's that film that you were in where he did that?
Like that dance.
Yeah, that dance.
Yeah.
What film?
Oh, that.
Oh, flipping hell.
I can't. I'm sure you recall that, especially for the.
You know, we called it for the
Yeah.
film, but what film for that thing? But what film
I can't remember.
was he famous in just before that song came out? Oh, flipping hell.
He's been in a few films, isn't he? Obviously, but
Yeah, because I mean, he was in the second Batman, but that was way before that song with Michael Keaton. But that was way before the song coming up. Yeah.
what do you reckon, Christian Bale? Do you think he's part of the Hollywood set?
Difficult because I mean, again, he's another one that sort of keeps himself to himself, isn't he?
Oh, I've got a good film. 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah. Do you know what? It was one of the
Ooh,
first
yeah.
sci-fis I ever saw when I was
Yes.
really
How many
young.
messages in that one?
Yeah, AI.
The Obelisk.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that, Dave.
Can't do that, though.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave. I can't do that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a warning about AI in there for one thing.
What
but
about
yeah,
that Prince song, 1999?
we're
Was
gonna
it
play.
1999?
We're gonna play it like it's 1999.
What's that film?
She did Purple Rain.
No, there was a film where he was on about a year.
Why did he change his name?
Oh, flipping hell.
Oh, he
He
changed
changed
it
his
to a
name
symbol.
more time than he changed his freaking
No,
brand.
he only changed it to a symbol again because of the record companies.
No, he changed it to Tafnap, didn't he?
Oh,
From
did he?
Prince to Tafnap. It was Tafnap,
Right.
which is the artist formerly known as Prince,
Yeah.
and then he changed it to that symbol.
Mm.
It was like
Yeah.
Prince, Tafnap, symbol.
I
Yeah.
don't know
That
the
was
symbol part.
yeah. That was all to again the same as George Michael. George Michael. Not Michael Jackson. It was that issue with the record companies. That's why, because I don't think he wanted his name being,
Yeah, but they've all, surely they all had to sign this thing or
Chief,
do
any more
things
questions?
to get where they were. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So they have something on them. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
But say you find it funny, it's certain artists that have had the trouble,
Yes.
and they're the ones that haven't
The ones that
been part
really
of it.
whip into the top and then think, oh,
Yeah, Plasma State's gone and put police pretty much hated each other and they could do what they did, and then they still could do what they did. Yeah, because I think who was it?
yeah, Stuart Copeland.
Stuart Copeland was a drummer.
Yeah, and him and Sting literally could not bloody stand each other. I was going to say that earlier, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, well done, Plasma. Well
Yeah,
done.
spot on.
That's a good one.
The Who. I mean, the Who's another one.
Oh, is this a film? Hey Alpha.
Hey, Alpha.
Is that? Am I reading that right, Plasma? What are you on about a film there or something?
Was it?
Oh no, he's saying hello. He's saying hello to Alpha. Sorry.
Ignore Jeff.
All right.
Sorry, excuse my friend.
Get that.
I was about to say the Who. Oh, another
Roger Daltrey.
Who?
Who?
Yeah, Pete Townsend. Yeah.
Yeah, Pete
Roger
Townsend, Roger Daltrey.
All the rest of it. Yeah.
Again, I mean Roger Daltrey. You know when they wrote My Generation,
Yeah.
that was to do with something that, if I remember, the song was written because they owned a at the time,
Did they?
and it had. I'm sure it had graffiti down. It was something like that.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on this story, but it's what I can,
Okay,
what I
swap.
can remember. So they had the hearse parked up in London somewhere,
We said the day the Earth was still.
and it was going to be
Yes.
part of the
Oh,
route
sorry.
that the Queen Mother was going to go on one of the processions, on one of the one of the royal processions, and they didn't want that hearse there because it looked vulgar.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Image purposes.
Yeah, and of course it they were like, "Who are you?" So tell us where to park their car. So that's where the My Generation song come from. And you got Won't Get Fooled Again, Bubba O'Reilly, Bubba O'Reilly. The Sex Pistols, another group.
Yeah, I mean,
Johnny
even
Lydon.
Johnny Lydon's coming out now, isn't he?
Johnny Lydon was telling us stuff about
Savile.
Savile
Years
Forty-
ago.
40, 50 years, well, 40 odd
Really?
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All through a song,
he
or
was
just-
no,
No.
he
just talk about
spoke
it.
out on TV.
He was quite vocal.
He knew,
about
and
it.
he said something.
Really?
Mm.
Yeah.
Johnny Lydon's a freaking. He's man. He does not care what he says.
John Lydon, he just come out
Mm.
with it, and that was it.
It makes me wonder how he's lived for so long now.
Well, I mean, he's had his own health issues and.
No, I mean how he hasn't been bumped.
Yeah. I mean, that.
I mean, when he was saying about God Save the Queen, that's
Mm.
that
Yeah,
one,
I
wasn't
mean, they were lucky. It was during that period of music
well, I mean,
where.
I think with God Save the Queen one, we're more against the establishment.
Yeah,
rather
as I say, same as the Who and My Generation.
Yeah.
That was another song that was anti-establishment.
There was a lot of songs at that time that were
The
anti-establishment.
60s and 70s.
Rolling
were-
They
Stones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were coming out with that.
That's Stones apart. of
But
it.
now,
The record
obviously-
producers would never allow them to produce those records if there wasn't a reason for it.
They,
They're all under record producers, aren't they? So the
Um,
record producers are able-
yeah, I
Yes
mean, at
and
the
no.
time there was a lot more independence.
Yeah.
The
Which
80s, the
would-
70s and 80s were quite, I'd say,
It was changing in the
It was
80s, I'd
changing.
say.
It was in the change, wasn't it?
Mm.
You know,
I mean, the music that was coming out in the 80s, Bob Marley was dead by 81. So, the
Bob
music.
Marley weren't human.
No, he wasn't. I thought
I think he was an angel.
I agree. I think he was a prophet.
1,000,000%.
Mm.
Definitely a prophet. 100%.
It's one of those handful of musicians. If you used to take that name anywhere around the world and talk to anyone of virtually any age, do you know who Bob Marley is? And they'll go, yes.
I've
Michael
never heard
Jackson.
I've never ever, and this is gospel, I've never ever heard anyone go, Bob Marley, oh, no, that is,
No.
I've never heard anyone say anything bad about him.
no woman, no cry, mate.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is, I mean, I mean,
No woman, no. That song should have been called No Woman More Golf.
Yeah,
you can change the lyrics.
No
Woman more golf.
Change the words. Yeah.
I remember that one.
No woman, no golf.
But
No
yeah,
more
it-
golf.
More
well,
golf.
he's one of those handful of people. And everyone knows him. Everyone knows his music. And there's music's subjective, but you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who doesn't like a Bob Marley song.
Yeah.
At least one of them.
The only one I didn't like was I liked all of them because I love Bob Marley and reggae. The only one I weren't hot on was Buffalo Soldiers. It was a bit, for me that was.
Wasn't that a name of was it during the American Civil War or was it during the Second World War or
Buffalo
something? They had a regiment that were
Taken
called
from-
Buffalo Soldiers
Probably.
or something.
Taken from Africa and sent to
Yeah,
America.
it was the Buffalo Soldiers weren't they I couldn't be careful how I say this. Well, I'll just say it straight. They were a regiment of black soldiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well, I
what
couldn't
they were.
remember which war it was.
Yeah, Civil War, American Civil
American
War.
Civil
Yeah, it
War.
would have been.
I might
That'd
be
have
wrong,
been.
but I think it was.
I think you're right. I mean, that'd have been
Yeah.
time of slavery and everything. So, yeah.
Plasma just said, God Save the Queen was misrepresented. Lydon didn't want it called that, favouring No Future as the title. It was McLaren that stitched them up.
Malcolm
That's about
McLaren, yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. Because he was their manager, wasn't he?
Yeah.
At the time?
Yeah, he did.
What about
Right.
messages through things? Maybe not through a film or anything like that. What about a certain car badge? Beginning with M, ending in Ace Hades.
Oh, that's really old one. That.
Uh,
Oh, you got me there.
Right, pause that a sec. Buffalo Soldiers were African American, primarily served in the US Army's all-black regiments, particularly those formed after the Civil War
Oh, after
on
the
the
Civil
western frontier.
Well, they weren't far off.
There you go.
See? Search Google, you will find your answer.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So what were you saying? Sorry. Mercedes.
Beginning with them, it's a car. It's a
I
car.
thought
you were
gonna say
Beginning with
B.
them and ending in
M and
Mercedes.
80s. M and ending in 80s.
Mercedes.
Why? What's the matter with them then?
BMW.
Well, their symbols are propeller.
Did it?
Well, it's kind of like the what's that nuclear symbol, whatever it's
Yep.
called.
Oh, the MOD. Oh,
No,
MOD.
that's- yeah, I know what you mean.
But Mercedes been around for ages, haven't they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, spill. Come on.
Cool.
What did they do in What did they do in World War Two? What did they back in World War Two?
Well, they provided engines for some of the planes and tanks, and so that's a target. You're saying that's a target rather than a propeller.
Right, don't bring it up unless you're gonna like say your
That- that-
theory. on it.
I've always thought of it as a kind of a target.
Demonic symbol.
Demonic symbol. Okay.
What, the C&D logo you're talking about?
Oh,
No, the Mercedes.
It's three spokes, isn't it?
It's just three spokes.
I mean, you could flip it upside down, and it could be kind of like the Baphomet thing with the horns.
No, obviously the star thing is, that's
It's three, isn't it? Is it three?
Yeah, but yeah, it goes down. And Mercedes also, this history of Mercedes backing up, they've got connections, I believe, with Hitler and Third Reich.
Allegedly,
But it's a German
allegedly, and
company.
this is for entertainment purposes only.
yeah.
But they would have supplied. Right, we're back on.
Right, I'm not allowed to say that anymore.
Right, that was right. We're back on.
Right, I'm not allowed to say that anymore.
Right, that was allegedly, and it was for entertainment purposes
Yes.
only.
The
Yeah,
whole
sorry.
thing is.
I meant to say Volkswagen.
Yeah, that's all
Well, that's
alleged.
another
none of
one.
it. Yeah, it's.
Maybe we don't mention car brands tonight. We just do
No.
music.
No.
Music's
No.
fine.
Oh, Tesla.
No, we don't do that.
No, let's stay away from them. It's alleged. It's no. Do your own research. It's for entertainment purposes only.
You can't see me.
No. So, well, yeah. So, yeah, we'll give us.
I'm going to be sat in the corner. I'm not going to be loud on screen like all you'll hear is, what about that one? Like something out of Life of Brian, wouldn't it? He's been a very naughty boy. Oh, yeah.
That's another thing. Oh,
Life of Brian when the alien come down.
oh no, I didn't think that one. The sketch with the where he says, "I want to be," or something. Right?
Oh, Loretta.
Loretta, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just agree that he can be called it, and he can pretend he's a woman, but he's
I
not.
want to have babies. You can't have babies, you haven't got a womb. What if the fetus going to gestate?
But that is like.
All right, well, let's say you can't have a baby and you can.
We can fight for your right
You
to
can
have it.
associate.
Yeah.
That's it. We can fight for your right to have it.
What?
Yes. Not
Just-
that
just-
you can, but you got a right to.
Talk
I tell you
about.
what, those boys, Monty Python, were way ahead.
Mm.
Way ahead. There's so many messages in their films, like what is it? Not in Life of Brian, the other one they made, Holy Grail.
Yeah.
When there were people
My favourite.
building. I think Holy Grail's better than Life of Brian.
I think.
Where there were people making it for crawling around in a film with mud,
Oh yeah.
and then King Harold.
It was King Arthur, wasn't it?
King Arthur, sorry. He goes, "I'm your king," and he went, "No, you're not. You'll be voted by a narcissist."
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know he's a king?
Don't change
It's not-
there then.
it's not
I'm
covered in
bullying.
shit.
I'm being bullied by the. What did he?
I'm being oppressed.
I'm being oppressed. I'm being oppressed.
The French.
Harry
And the insulting
Creature,
French
Yeah.
on the. Oh my days.
Oh yeah, when he was. I want to see your thing.
Your father was a Hanson, your mother smelled of elderberries.
Let's go away and
Yeah,
boil you a
you
possum.
English kniggets.
Now go away, I will taunt you some more.
I think I missed something.
We're talking about Life of Brian and.
Yeah.
We're
Holy
not,
Grail.
Dave,
we're not talking about car brands.
The form following function, or whatever we want to talk. Yeah.
Even apple tatters are erratic. Oh, 3.
That's a crown, isn't it?
Turn it
That's
upside
right.
down, I get wet.
Yeah, you will that.
And it's an M, like McDonald's.
You can.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Funny that.
You can explain to Karen, you didn't really piss
And
yourself, it was just
and
to
what's
turn
the
your cow up
McDonald's
with it.
logo then? I mean, because you see all
Three on the
these,
side.
you see all these
Another.
logos around you. You know, like, you know, all these logos.
Mars bar.
The McDonald's. What is that?
I've got to be careful here.
I don't-
Yeah,
No,
we don't
yeah.
do, shall we not do the logos?
No logos
Just
or
in
any
case.
brands or anything, because that's it's all alleged. It's none
It's
of,
part.
it's
on-
entertainment only.
It's on telly though, isn't it?
It
It's on,
is,
it's
yeah.
in your face. It's like part of the films and that.
I'm gonna give it's another one. It's not. I wouldn't say it's not really conspiracy or anything like that, but Ghostbusters.
Right.
Now, Ghostbusters.
Never seen it.
Oh, you're missing a.
Really?
How long you been asleep, Jeff?
No. You watch
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
We'll look down a couple of big film franchises from the 80s.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters was one of them. Now,
I've watched
they wanted John Belushi in that
I've
film.
watched a lot of films.
Yeah,
I
they
didn't
wanted
know
John,
that.
they wanted John Belushi in that film.
Why didn't that
John
happen?
Belushi, you know, from
Did
Blues,
he?
But
Blues Brothers.
he died.
But he
He,
did
he
pass.
died before.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but when I John Belushi really, like, he really enjoyed himself, shall we say? Whether it be food, chemical products, women, you know, he
But James Belushi, I like James Belushi. He's quite.
yeah.
What about the person that sung Ghostbusters?
Ray Parker Jr.
That was a one-hit wonder.
He's
wasn't
got
it,
a
really?
cool, yeah.
He had another one. I don't think Men Should Sleep Alone. That's the only one I remember from Ray Parker Jr. But
Weren't he meant to be a bit dodgy?
I don't discount it. But what I was going to say with Ghostbusters, the Slimer, you know, the Slimer
Yeah.
ghost in it, was based on John Belushi.
Ah.
Right. The Gluttonous Lifestyle.
Yeah.
It was based on John Belushi's lifestyle.
Oh,
There's a few others in it, but that was the one that stuck
Go
out
on,
to
go on,
me.
Hev, what
I've
do
got
you
another one.
Go on.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Robert England.
Mm.
About having your dreams manifesting themselves in reality.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
She's going
you've been
deep.
down there googling.
She's going deep
No,
now.
it
doesn't
doesn't
Google that one.
All of a
Yeah.
sudden, you've come back really
But
clever.
that's what
You've
it
been
is, really.
Yeah.
It's about your dreams manifesting themselves in reality. That's what
Never
Nightmare on
seen
it.
I
Nightmare
don't
on
like
Elm Street
watching
is.
horror films. Scary.
It's a classic.
It is a classic.
Oh,
it
come on,
is freaky. It is freaky.
Mate, Scooby Doo's horror to me, mate.
But even
Um,
that's about uncovering. It always turns out to be the local
Someone
mayor
you know.
or something,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
It's,
What,
Or the
yeah.
local
it's someone
policeman.
you know.
Yeah.
But someone in prominence.
Mm. And what was the thing with Back to the Future? Because I
Never
mean,
seen it.
there was
That's
full of stuff.
That's quite-
Yeah, that's
Mm.
got a 923 in it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I'll
Yeah,
just,
his clock doesn't his alarm go off at 9:23?
yeah, I'll just say for the live, and I do apologise, I couldn't find the video that I watched, but 923 has come up a lot in movies, and there is apparently a movement on it that's been going quite a long time, and they're not sure whether it's supposed to mean September the 23rd or
That was it. Yeah.
20, like they thought it might be 2023 in September, but yeah, there is apparently, but lots and lots of movies have got 923 in there somewhere, whether it's a clock or it's on a picture in the background or on a blackboard, or someone mentions a time like we're going to meet at 923 or that kind of
That
stuff.
bloke make about 60, he brought up about 60 movies or something. didn't he?
Yeah, loads, yeah.
60 movies.
Well, maybe not that many, but yeah, there's loads. There is
Mm.
loads, yeah.
Right, yeah, two big brands, and so once you start looking into these
But
things,
Back to the
it's a
Future,
bit of
yeah,
a
yeah.
bit of a hole to delve down. But
So
yeah,
there's a load of films and programs on the TV that we see, whether it's adverts, whether it's films, whether it's whatever series, but you got to look out for these.
Adverts are classic
Yeah.
for subliminal message, aren't
yeah, and
Well,
yeah,
that's what
just
I say about these different things.
just so more
For
quickly.
entertainment purposes, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, the more recent films and TV series pushing certain agendas.
Nudging.
Yeah. Which you want to be looking out for. I'll give an example. I won't say what goes on, but they're trying to push certain things. The DC stuff. She had Arrow. Actually, Arrow was all right, and some of the others. But there was one where there was characters from different
What about Electra?
What's DC?
Did you ever watch that?
Detective Comics.
Marvel.
Did you ever watch Electra?
Superman.
No,
With
I know.
Jennifer
That's it.
no, it wasn't.
I know
Jennifer
one
Garner.
about it, yeah.
Electra.
I might
That
have
was
done.
right.
Who was Wonder Woman? Was she a DC?
Yes, DC
Yeah.
Oh, I
character.
like DC now.
Who doesn't? Mm.
Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman.
Oh, she's fantastic. Yeah, she's. That's the taking me right off.
Yeah, I just thought.
I can't think of it. It's going to annoy me now, but yeah, when you're watching things like that, it's in more recent years, then they're sort of trying to push certain agendas, narratives, yeah. And if you could think of one massive company that now owns massive franchises, and we're talking the big massive franchises.
What can I say?
No,
No.
isn't he? I don't know, isn't he?
Something like that, yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, not
I
sure.
don't know. Yeah, watch out for them. I think that quite a few of us who watch the channel probably know what I'm on about.
Yeah, there's a lot that you can look up certain adult themes in Disney movies, and you've got the pictures there, and you can see them on there, and you can watch the film back, and there's actually quite a really bad one in Toy Story,
Yeah.
which is a clip, which I won't go into here.
No, we can't.
But, yeah.
No.
But yeah, just what I thought of a moment ago, which, and they've admitted this, going back to the days of cinema, when you used to go and watch a movie at the cinema, they admitted that, do you remember in the old days, you'd have...
paid by Bo Peep.
Shut up. You'd have an intermission, and they'd come out with popcorn and hot dogs and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they admitted that they were flashing in nanoseconds images of popcorn or hot dogs or Coca-Cola or whatever brand it was.
Yeah.
Might not be Coca-Cola.
I
I'm not
never
sure
got
then.
any of that.
Before the intermission, and it would make people want it, so that when the woman come round in the intermission selling this stuff, that's how it would get sold.
Yeah.
And they've admitted this, so they've done it in the movies, most likely television as well. So, you know.
There's a lot of it on programs now because.
But no, you don't see it.
No,
your
no,
mind
thinking
registers
about
it.
Thinking about it now, there's loads of them about Ben and Jerry's ice cream because I always seem to end up at night time with Ben and Jerry's and I didn't really want it.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
But you would have had to have bought that beforehand.
Yeah.
Go to Ben and Jerry's.
You would have had to bought that beforehand. That you can't use that excuse.
But there is a good knock-on effect because when I go past shops with Rossi ice cream,
Ben and Jerry's.
But I've only got a tiny freezer, so I've got no room for it, fortunately.
Yeah, I've only got a really small fridge, so that's why I have to eat it.
Because it's all full up with Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah, I guess that.
It's full of good food, so if I get the Ben and Jerry's through the subliminal messages on the advert, I have to
When
eat
you
it straight
haven't been
away.
at home watching, television.
So anyway, we're going to finish up, but I would like to say, other ice creams are available. Rossi.
Who?
Rossi.
99.
Gay ice
I
cream.
love Rossi. I don't care what you say about Rossi ice
99
cream.
all day home.
It's a local brand. I'm going to plug local all day long. And they do make really nice ice
Before you
cream.
go, Plasma just said, what about the ultimate harbourer of the hidden, Captain Pugwash?
Oh, yeah.
That old cartoon.
Yeah.
Spoiled
That
by a
old
childhood.
chestnut. Yeah.
Roger the cabin boy up the back passage.
Seaman,
Stein.
Mr. Seaman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Stephen
Jesus,
Stein.
if you're on about that, if you're on about children's programs with all these different like entendres in it and that, bloody Rainbow, how did they get away with it?
That
Playing with my twanger.
apparently that was supposed to have been a one-off, but
Yeah,
not
that-
for
that-
TV.
that was-
that
yeah,
was
that
just.
was- yeah.
I don't know whether actually I never saw it then. but
And
apparently that was
just quickly, just thinking of, well, not kid stuff, but it was Eurovision, and
Magic Roundabout?
Bucks
Another
Fizz, making your mind up. Listen to those lyrics, and you'll never think
Yeah.
about something the same
Oh,
way.
Magic
again.
Roundabout.
Magic Roundabout.
Yeah,
Another one.
yeah.
Everyone
Yeah, that's
wants-
all about drugs, isn't it?
Everyone
Yeah.
wants-
Yeah.
everyone
I
wants
think
to fuck
every
with that,
every
don't
kiddie's.
Not tonight, it's just once.
I think every kiddie's TV series from the 60s through to the 80s, the creators must have been on drugs.
What was Bagpuss all about?
Jamie and the Magic Torch.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
Well, look at Alice in Wonderland. That was written by Lewis Carroll when he was on acid.
Yeah.
Oh, Lewis Carroll's
Taking the
up
trip.
there with the yeah.
No, he was. It's well documented that he was taking hallucinogens, i.e., acid, whilst he was writing.
So he really did meet the Cheshire Cat.
For that, when he was writing, what do you call it?
He wasn't just a
Alice in
plumber. He
Wonderland.
was he was quite a notable person.
Yeah.
From a notable family.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway,
I think, Lucas, we could go on all night about this.
and he drove.
We
on
might
Mercedes.
even come back to something.
Andy Candy.
Yeah.
Andy-
Said, I
uh,
never,
yeah.
There's got to be a part two of this. Can we do logos? Let's see how
We'll
we
get, no, we'll
let's
get
do logos and
that-
see how long we last broadcast.
That's Bill and Ben you're talking
before this
about.
channel gets pulled.
Right,
Yeah.
let's do logos and Adams Autos.
No.
Let's destroy Adams Autos.
No.
Right, let's bring it to an end.
Yeah. So, right, we are going to leave it there. We might even come back to this because it's such a broad thing.
But we have to discuss some things that we haven't discussed tonight.
Yes.
Other movies or other songs or something. We could
Absolutely.
talk about Sam Smith and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
that's-
how the music industry is shaping up today. That would be an
Yeah.
interesting one. We'll keep you up. We'll keep you posted about that. As I said at the start of this video, those who join us at
Yellow Submarine.
But
Not wrong with that.
Neil.
those who join us through the live stream, obviously we did have that cut. There will be a live stream
Thanks to Mercedes.
with myself with Paranormal Essex. That will be coming up on the 12th of July. So head over to our Facebook page, PowerQuest UK. Head over to the Facebook page, and you can follow the link on there. And we'll keep you posted about what and when and how and what we're doing, really. Because got some exciting stuff coming off of that.
Are we allowed on that one?
Not yet.
Only
There's,
important people then.
Yeah.
there's a good reason for that.
Tax.
Because I'm a
Tax.
dick.
No, I love you being a dick, Jeff. That's great.
Actually, no, I'm not.
You just said it.
Yeah,
I wanted to say no, you
Jeff
know.
just come out.
in the best possible sense.
I've come out.
All done in the best possible
I'm not. This is family viewing.
Listen,
Oh,
Anyway,
I throw straight
all right.
backs.
We're going to leave it
Yes.
there. Thank you. Love and light. God bless everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go
Good
for
night.
that. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Love Mercedes.
Yeah. So,
I'm going out to drive my Jag.
other British firms are available owned by India.
But not Saab.
Just not owned by anyone anymore.
I wasn't